Something very special is happening right now in the state of Florida within the pro-democracy community. You heard that right, in Florida. I'm telling you, we have not seen this level of enthusiasm like we are seeing in the state right now, probably since President Barack Obama won the state back in the day. People are taking to the streets to reject Donald Trump's hate and division and declare, we are not going back. Meanwhile, Donald Trump supporters are spreading that hate and division in ways that are absolutely horrifying. I want to break down for you this contrast that we are seeing in the state and show you the numbers, show you all the data. My name is Brett Meiselas here with the MeidasTouch Network. Remember to hit subscribe. We are on our way to 3.5 million subscribers, and we can't get there without you. First, I want to show you this from over the weekend. This was in St. Augustine's historic downtown, which was overwhelmed by Harris Wall supporters marching down the street in support of Vice President Harris. Check this out. Then on Monday in the Villages, which is typically a Republican stronghold that is an older community within Florida, they were fired up for Vice President Harris and making their voices heard. Check this out.
When we vote, when we fight, when we vote, how's everybody doing today?
And these people in the Villages were fired up. You saw the enthusiasm in those clips I just showed you. They then led a miles-long golf cart parade in order to drop off their ballots for Vice President Harris. Check this out. And here's another video of those golf carts going to vote for Vice President Harris. Over 1,000 golf carts there in the Villages on Monday. Watch this. And here's some of the very early data that we are receiving from the Secretary of State's office within Florida. We are seeing, when you look at who has voted by vote by mail so far, this is just amongst party affiliation. We are seeing Democrats with a current lead at 227,222 votes submitted by mail. Republicans, 192,336 votes. No party affiliation, 95,735. The Democrats have received over 1,096,094 ballots. Republicans, 887,206 mail-in ballots, to show you the disparities there. Also, I would not be surprised if many of these kind of other or no party affiliation or even Republicans who are mailing in their ballots are actually voting for Vice President Kamala Harris. Harris. It's too early to really make much of this data, but it certainly is worth showing you the raw data and the numbers that we are seeing right now. Meanwhile, what was Donald Trump's campaign doing? What were the people involved closest to Donald Trump doing? They were holding the ultimate Trump boat parade over the weekend at Jupiter Inlet. And this is one of the most disgusting events that I have ever seen in my entire life. At this event, they were flying swastika flags during the boat parade, and this was an event that was attended and promoted by people like Eric Trump and Lara Trump, who you could see here on their boat. They decided to have this visual of Donald Trump with a bloodied mouth from the first assassination attempt with the words "fight, fight, fight," while they had children on the boat. Very disturbing to have on this boat right here. You could see Lara Trump with one of her children, it appears, with a Donald Trump face mask over his head. Also very strange. And let me show you, this is very disturbing, but this is the kind of stuff that the corporate media refuses to cover. I don't know why they are afraid to cover this, but this is one of the most important things that voters need to be seeing. So I apologize that this is hard to watch and hard to see, but we need to be speaking about this. This is near Palm Beach. We saw one of these boats as part of this Trump boat parade. Once again, this was being attended and promoted by Lara Trump and Eric Trump. And you see them there with their swastika flags. You see them with their Mike Lindell, the My Pillow guy, advertising his sale that is at $14.88. That is a Nazi symbol as well. More on that in a second. But first, let me show you a video of this just absolutely disturbing video of these Trump supporters, Nazis, in the Florida boat parade. Watch this.
Look at those beautiful swastikas. There we go. White power. Hell, Trump. Yeah. Make America white again. Woo, woo, woo. We're out here in Jupiter, loving it, loving the good weather, blue skies. Woo! Make America white. They see that sign, brother. They see that sign. There we go, man. My Pillow, $14.88. Yay, 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 yay.
One of the things we all need to confront, and that the media should not shy away from saying, is that this Trump campaign is deeply rooted in Nazism. It just is. I'm not going to mince words here, and I don't think the corporate press should mince words here. When you have Mike Lindell, who is a close associate of Donald Trump's, who tried to overturn our election in 2020, making his sale price of his items $14.88, he is sending a signal to those Nazi supporters. And you saw it on those Trump supporters' boats with the Nazi flag. They were holding up the Mike Lindell signs with $14.88. Here's what that means according to the Anti-Defamation League. $14.88 is a combination of two popular white supremacist numeric symbols. The first symbol is 14, which is shorthand for the 14-word slogan, which is "We must secure the existence of our people and a future for white children." The second is 88, which stands for Hail Hitler, H being the eighth letter of the alphabet. Together, the numbers form a general endorsement of white supremacy and its beliefs. So that is no accident. Also no accident, the fact that on the campaign trail for the past few years, and this is something that we have been reporting constantly here on the MeidasTouch network, Donald Trump has been echoing Hitler's words over and over and over again, nearly verbatim. This is a graphic that we made actually like a while ago at this point, towards the beginning of this campaign, where you see Hitler said, "I will get rid of the communist vermin." You see Donald Trump said, "I will get rid of the communist vermin." Hitler said, "I will take care of the enemy within." Donald Trump said, "I will take care of the threat from within." And he has since changed his language to call him the enemy from within. Hitler said Jews and migrants are poisoning Aryan blood. Donald Trump says migrants are poisoning the blood of our country. Hitler's slogan was "One people, one realm, one leader." Donald Trump likes to finish his rallies by saying "One people, one family, one glorious nation." This is not a coincidence, folks. And let me just show you one of Donald Trump's posts from a while ago. This is from November 2023, just to show you that he has been doing this for a while throughout this campaign, whether or not the media wants to speak about it. Here, Donald Trump said, said, "In honor of our great veterans on Veterans Day, we pledge to you that we will root out the communists, Marxists, fascists, and the radical left thugs that live like vermin within the confines of our country, lie, steal, and cheat on elections, and will do anything possible, whether legally or illegally, to destroy America and the American dream. The threat from outside forces is far less sinister, dangerous, and grave than the threat from within." You could see how this echoes almost exactly the rhetoric of Adolf Hitler that I was showing you before. And people are sounding the alarm, like Robert Jones, the founder of the Public Religion Research Institute, who said, "What is so jarring to me is that these are not just Nazi-like statements, these are actual Nazi sentiments." Hitler used the word vermin and rats multiple times in Mein Kampf to talk about the Jews. These are not accidental or coincidental references. We have clear 20th century historical precedent with this kind of political language, and we see where it leads. We even saw General Mark Milley, who is the head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, just this week come out and say, quote, "Trump is fascist to the core." He said, "No one has ever been as dangerous to this country as Donald Trump. Now I realize he is a total fascist." We need to listen to these voices when they tell us who Donald Trump is, but Donald Trump is telling us who he is on his own. Okay, let's be real for a second. Has this election cycle had your stress at a level 10? Is the lingering summer heat impacting your focus? Looking for some levity but need to embrace life with your hands on the wheel? Enhance your everyday with Via. Via is a company dedicated to harnessing the natural benefits of hemp to create high-quality wellness products. From setting the mood in the bedroom to chilling out after a long day, Via has something for you. With award-winning THC and THC-free gummies, Via has a dosage to encourage your comfort. No need to block off hours of the day for an unproductive high when you could experience the full spectrum of benefits from cannabis and hemp products with a microdose of THC to give you a little boost without compromising your responsibilities. Via is also well renowned for their premium indoor THCA flower, soothing topicals, and calming drops, all crafted with the highest quality hemp sourced from trusted, independently owned American farms. And the best part, Via legally ships to all 50 states in discreet packaging directly to your door with a worry-free guarantee. No medical card required. Personally, I've tried Via, and let me tell you, their calming drops have become my go-to after a stressful day. The soothing effects are just enough to ease the tension without clouding my mind. It's pure relaxation on my terms. Trusted by over 500,000 happy customers for their wellness needs, Via is the brand everyone is raving about. So, if you're 21 or older, check out the link to Via's website in our description for 15% off. And after you purchase, they're going to ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. Enhance your everyday with Via. Donald Trump just over the weekend was going on his rants about good genetics and genes. This goes back to Adolf Hitler's belief in eugenics, and this has been a big part of Donald Trump's speeches. Have a watch.
He's the longest serving professor in the history of MIT, like 40 years or 41 years. Can you imagine? So this is good. Does anybody believe in genes? Do you guys believe in genetics? These guys have good genetics too for safety, and that's all we want you for. We don't want you for anything else.
And you see Trump in these final moments of the campaign speaking about migrants as vermin and being diseased, that they're infecting our country, all of this very gross Nazi-type language. Watch this.
I will bring back Title 42 medical rejections. People come in, they're very sick, very sick. They're coming into our country. They're very, very, very sick with highly contagious disease, and they're let into our country to infect our country, and they're coming in at numbers that nobody's ever seen before.
Then you see in recent days Donald Trump saying that he wants to bring back laws from the 1700s, which would allow him to deport legal immigrants in the country based on their nationality, if he doesn't like their nationality, and give them the death penalty and target American citizens he doesn't like. Watch this.
I will invoke the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. Can you imagine? Those were the old days when they had tough politicians. I have to go back that long. Think of that, 1798. Oh, it's a powerful act. You couldn't pass something like that today. Today, we're politically correct.
On Fox over the weekend, Trump said that Americans who don't support him are enemies and said they may need to be, quote, handled by the military. Watch this.
Are you expecting chaos on Election Day?
No, I don't think so. Not from the side that votes for Trump.
But I'm just wondering if these outside agitators will start up on Election Day. Let's say you win. I mean, let's remember, you've got 50,000 Chinese nationals in this country in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
You've got people on the terrorist watch list, 350 in the last couple of years. You've got, like you said, 13,000 murderers and 15,000 rapists.
Right.
What are you expecting? Joe Biden said he doesn't think it's going to be a peaceful Election Day.
Well, he doesn't have any idea what's happening in all fairness. He spends most of his day sleeping. I think the bigger problem is the enemy from within, not even the people that have come in and destroying our country. By the way, totally destroying our country. The towns, the villages, they're being inundated. But I don't think they're the problem in terms of Election Day. I think the bigger problem are the people from within. We have some very bad people. We have some sick people, radical left lunatics. And I think they're and it should be very easily handled by, if necessary, by National Guard, or if really necessary, by the military, because they can't let that happen.
Governor Walz responded to these comments made by Donald Trump in Wisconsin. Here's what Governor Walz had to say.
Crossed a line that I have to tell you, in my lifetime, I would have never imagined, because we know our history. Donald Trump over the weekend was talking about using the U.S. Army against people who disagree with him. Just so you're clear about that, that's you. That's what he's talking about. This is not some mythical thing out there. He called it the enemy within. And to Donald Trump, anybody who doesn't agree with him is the enemy. I tell you that not to make you fearful or anything. I tell you that because we need to whip his butt and put this guy behind us.
And once again, I'm not going to mince words here, but it appears that Donald Trump is basing his campaign off of Adolf Hitler. Trump is right now being accused by many people of holding this notorious rally at the Madison Square Garden later in this month in order to make it appear like the Nazi rallies that were held there in the late 1930s. We could see this image right here from a Nazi rally that took place in Madison Square Garden in 1939, and many people are saying that this is where Donald Trump is getting his inspiration from to do these rallies. And these rallies back in those days used the same types of terms that Donald Trump would use. They would call them American First rallies and use the same exact rhetoric, and they would use the iconography of America, but alongside swastikas and other Nazi rhetoric in order to push forward their agenda the same exact way that Donald Trump was. And Donald Trump has had a fascination with Adolf Hitler for a while. Let me read you this. Back in 1990, decades before he got into politics, Trump reportedly acknowledged owning a copy of Mein Kampf. This admission came in an interview with Vanity Fair shortly after his divorce from his first wife, Ivana. Here's what the magazine reported. Last April, perhaps in a surge of Czech nationalism, Ivana Trump told her lawyer Michael Kennedy that from time to time, her husband reads a book of Hitler's collected speeches, My New Order, which he keeps in a cabinet by his bed. Kennedy now guards a copy of My New Order in a closet at his office as if it were a grenade. And as Donald Trump's messaging gets darker and darker and darker, Vice President Kamala Harris is ramping up her efforts to get out her message of optimism and joy and how she wants to better the lives of the American people. Let me break down Vice President Harris and Governor Tim Walz's schedule for this week. This is just a portion of their schedule, by the way. They're doing even much more than this. On Monday, Vice President Harris was in Erie, Pennsylvania, and Walz was in Wisconsin. On Tuesday, Harris will be in Michigan, and Walz will blitz Western Pennsylvania. On Wednesday, Harris will campaign in Pennsylvania. On Thursday, Harris will hit the trail across Wisconsin, visiting Milwaukee, La Crosse, and Green Bay. Walz will visit campaign in Durham and Winston-Salem, North Carolina. On Friday, Harris will campaign across Michigan with stops in Grand Rapids, Lansing, and Oakland County. On Saturday, Harris will stump in Detroit before heading to Atlanta, Georgia. Walz will campaign in Nebraska's 2nd Congressional District. And they've been doing that in addition to a variety of interviews. I'm sure you've seen a lot of clips from many of the interviews that Vice President Harris and Governor Walz have been doing. It was also recently announced that Vice President Harris is going to appear on Fox News for the first time this Wednesday for an interview with anchor Brett Baier. So stay tuned for that on Wednesday, October 16th at 6 p.m. Eastern from Pennsylvania. That will definitely be interesting to watch. Vice President Harris also did an interview with Roland Martin where she was speaking about Donald Trump's racism and how he used to refuse to rent to black families and a variety of things that he did in the past. Watch this.
He cares about the kinds of people who run the businesses he runs, big developers, billionaires. He's not looking out for middle class folks. You look at what he is proposing in terms of cutting, if you look at the cost that middle class families bear, healthcare costs. We have capped the cost of insulin at $35 a month for seniors. Black folks are 60% more likely to be diagnosed with diabetes. Under Project 2025, they would undo that $35 cap. You look at what he is planning to do that is about getting rid of the Department of Education and Head Start programs. Who do you think that's going to affect? So there is, first of all, a danger in terms of understanding there are two choices in this election and understanding what Donald Trump intends for middle class families. Two, look at it in the context of how he actually thinks and talks about Black folks in America. And you and I have talked about this before. He is not looking out for folks when he was a landlord and would not rent to Black families, sued for it. When he took out a full page ad in the New York Times against those 5 teenagers, Black and Latino, who were innocent, saying they should be executed in Central Park 5. When you look at the first Black president of the United States, and he had birther lines, and now you look at Black immigrants, legal immigrants in Springfield, Ohio, and he gets on a debate stage and says they're eating their pets? Come on. This man is dangerous.
Vice President Harris on Monday also released a new, quote, opportunity agenda for Black men that includes $1 million in loans for Black entrepreneurs, programs focusing on mentoring young Black Americans, health and equity within the Black community, legalizing marijuana once and for all, and more. Here's Fox reporting on that.
From her compared to President Biden's 2020 run. The campaign today also launching new ads in battleground states focusing specifically on this demographic. They're also unveiling a new economic plan, which includes $1 million loans for Black entrepreneurs, building up programs focusing on mentoring younger Black Americans, focusing on health and equities within the Black community, and also vowing to legalize recreational marijuana once and for all.
So those are two very different visions for America, and I hope the contrast was made clear here. In the beginning of the video, you saw those folks in Florida leading with joy and optimism and getting out the vote in a way that really warmed my heart. But then you saw that there are these dark forces out there, dark forces that are being driven by Donald Trump himself to promote the absolute worst in us, or bringing back the worst parts of our history, of the entirety of human history, in order to try to win this election. And we should not take Donald Trump's words lightly, and we need to call them exactly what they are. And part of doing that and part of getting these messages out starts with you. It's in you spreading these videos, sharing these videos, making sure that people truly understand the stakes of this election. That this election is not even just about differing policy proposals. This election is about the very fabric of America and our democracy as we know it. As we know it. So here's what you could do. Make sure that you vote. Number one thing, vote, 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 vote. Make sure your friends and family vote. Also, subscribe to this channel. Help us get to 3.5 million subscribers. Share these videos, leave a like, leave a comment. It all helps getting these videos out there far and wide. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Midas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.